Manitou Incline and how we all
Matt.
crossed each other's paths.
Okay.
You came in the picture right away, though. I mean, you weren't. I mean, because I
She was
met
already
him.
doing
I
it.
met him, and then I met you pretty much right away.
Yeah,
Didn't
I believe that is how it started. I met Scott first on the incline.
Yeah.
Because I was on the hill like a year before you. But that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how much you guys knew each other before you and
April
I.
7th.
I don't think I had the connection of. This is how cool that is I didn't have that connection. I didn't know that you two were already connected.
Yeah.
When I separately, I met both of you. Separately, I started a relationship with you guys. And then realized,
figured out.
oh, you guys are like buddies.
Well, we were like
Well,
buddies, and then
it-
we just started. He started picking me up.
Yeah.
And we started just doing doubles together.
The only
Okay.
the only reason that I was able to meet everybody is some odd reason. When I started, I was seeing everybody at the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fred, Chastity, everybody. Like I was getting there, and then Scott was showing up. It was like a reunion. Like if we already knew each other, and that's how I kind of met everybody. Because I was at the top. It was weird. It's
That's
just like
pretty interesting because that actually I did meet you midway. You stopped me
No, you were at the top.
the first time.
And I took a picture of Kathy, and you got in the picture. But that's how.
Is that
and,
how it went?
And then.
you bullied yourself
And
in
then
there.
we were already Facebook friends, which I didn't know. And then we chatted after that.
Okay.
But then just, kept seeing each other on the hill. And you started doing it more. Like we were doing it twice a day, and
Yeah.
you started doing it more that summer, a couple
Yeah.
summers ago.
Mhm. That's right. But I always met everybody at the top too. And
Yeah.
everyone's putting in the work getting up there.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's why it was so
Initially.
weird, because it was just like I had just got up there, and then here comes Fred, here comes Scott, here comes Jack. I was just like crazy. But then now it's very rare that if we're all up there at the
I
same
was
time.
just thinking that. When was the first time last week before? Was when I actually caught you upstairs up at the
Yeah,
top
and
and
that's
we did some
even
push-ups
with
last
you.
week?
Even with you,
Yeah.
it's been kind of just off. But I mean, I think for me, it's the sunrise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which gets me all messed up, because I was thinking, oh, it's still 5:30, but no, it's like 6 o'clock now.
No, and I'm always coming
It's
down
almost 6
when
today.
sunrise.
It was almost 6 today.
You're almost off when the sun
Yeah.
was up today. Yeah, and I've been just
Because
all
it's
over
coming
the
up so
place.
late now.
Oh,
Because I try to get back to the
bummer.
car by 6:30, if not
Yeah.
6:15 or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, I mean, we're here with Trista Montoya. We're just talking about how we met her, how we kind of met each other, and taking it from there. She's just been an animal all over the place. Been doing Hyroxy?
high
Hyrox.
rocks. Yep.
Hyrox challenges, just crazy challenges that she's been doing, physically challenges. I tell you what, if I wasn't diabetic, I'd be in some of those challenges, but not in my case.
There might be time for that, you know.
You've been a
You never
beast.
know.
Well, I mean, I know. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Everything's a lot of
I
work.
don't think you're afraid of work.
No, I'm not afraid of work at all.
I think it's just making the pieces fit right,
Yeah.
and that's the big. How High Rocks fell into my hands was.
How
I
long
wasn't
have you been
expecting
doing
it.
that?
Just since last November.
That's it, huh?
So if somebody doesn't know anything about Hyrox, what is it, and how is it benefiting your life?
So I'd say this is what I tell people, because when I say I'm doing High Rocks, there's very few people. It's getting bigger. It's pretty new still
I
in the
noticed
States,
that.
but it's definitely it's more popular now, and it's just going to continue to blow up. But so many people, especially here in Colorado, I mean, the people I meet on the hill, they don't know what High Rocks is. And so I share with them this way. It's CrossFit with running. That's what High Rocks is to me. I never really did a ton of CrossFit, but I use a lot of their movement in my training. And honestly, my training has pretty much always been just to be better and just to be healthier and to be an example to first started my children, and now it's grown to anyone and everyone I can reach. But
That's amazing.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that is what it was at the start.
Yeah, but that's how you have to live your life, though. Individually, you have to live like that. Nobody lives like that. You know how we're always pushing on the mountain and just trying to be that light for other individuals to say, hey, you can get out of your comfort zone. You can get out of that box and do something. Put some challenges in front of you, and just like you're doing, man. The 75 hard challenge or program for me. That's what was my turning point. That's why I've been doing the mountain so much, because I did that thing, and that thing healed me or turned me into that beast, that wants to do the exercises so much. It feels just absolutely amazing.
And you've completed 75 hard a couple times.
3 times, yeah.
3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Are you in the middle of it now?
No, I haven't done it last year because of the diabetes.
Okay,
I had to get I was on insulin.
Right.
So I had to wake up. I was waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning eating candy. So I was like, I'm not going to say I'm on 75 hard and I'm eating a chocolate. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't eat that stuff no more. But I don't like when the sugar goes down, when your sugar drops. And it's just a horrible, horrible feeling,
Yeah, of course, and you have to manage that first before you can eat. We got to have you alive to.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've climbed the hill in some pretty bad shape before, so I don't want to go back to that.
No.
So, Trista, I'm going to ask you some questions that I obviously, because we're friends and we may or may not have written a book together.
There you go.
That I know the answer to, but when you were growing up, were you a competitive person? Did you have siblings? What was your deal that started you on the path of where you are today?
Okay, so I'm really a country girl. I grew up rural part of New Mexico. My grandmother owns a ranch. My parents, they had a business that they would run for my grandmother. And so from the time I was a little bitty, I've always been given the best example of work ethic. But I also have 3 brothers. And so with 3 brothers, no sisters. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we lived rural, so we were outside every day, all day. But I fell in love with basketball, and I was passionate about basketball. Honestly, that's never left me. If I can pick up a ball, I will and shoot it whenever I get a chance, or got to make time for it, but it happens. And so, absolutely, Scott, a very competitive-natured person. And my dad coached me for a little while when I was young, and then just all through high school. And my plan was to play college, and I was going to go play college, and I had a scholarship and an opportunity, but life happens, and things changed, and so my path went a different direction, and I didn't get to fulfill that dream that I had. But I believe that was God's doing. And, it's amazing how you can look back and you can think something was so bad, and then when you look ahead, you're like, oh, it really wasn't that bad. It was for this purpose. So very competitive. My brothers always pushed me. Forever, I was called the tomboy because I just always played with the boys and I was on a Little League basketball team. I was the only girl. Probably the best player. No, I'm just playing.
So you were always getting after it.
Always.
Through middle school, through high school, just always in sports and everything.
Absolutely, that was part of my life. It's part of me still, and I think it's still within me. And I try to navigate that in a different way now. So because I can get to a point where I'm too competitive with things, and I'm seeing that that's not what my purpose is now. It's not to win something, it's to be in that moment. Yeah. Actually actively present in those opportunities that I've been given.
You're feeling humble and
Absolutely.
having gratitude, and just that's what it does to you, right? When
Absolutely.
you're just pushing yourself every day, you just feel that gratitude and down to earth, and you want to help others and bring them up to that level so they can feel that power too.
I think when you figure that out, that what you actually are doing in life is not for yourself, that it's for others, that's when your life changes. And I think that's why we decided to write a book together. Yeah. We wanted people to have that same experience. We want people, we can reach only this amount of people when we're out, and we're out on the hill all the time. I'm in this new Hyrox community. I'm trying to be in the running community here in Colorado. And I am doing those things because I just want to network more. I want to meet more people because I want to share with them. I want them to share with me, but I also want to share with people what I believe that life is actually here for, what we're here for. And the book is just a way. I felt like when Scott approached me about it and was like, "You want to write a book?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's do this." He asked me in the middle of the hill. I think, what step were we on? You probably know this because you're a number guy. What step were we on?
I don't know.
We were around Bailout, I know, and you're like, "Hey, you want?" I think at the steeps right there. You were like, "You wanna? Can I write a book? Or you wanna write a book?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, Scott. Who are you again?" Because I've met you twice, 3 times maybe.
And then the book itself evolved into something really powerful and awesome.
Yeah.
But you had a period of time where things kind of, settled out a bit. Did you meet your husband in high school or when?
College.
College. Yeah. And you got married pretty young, right?
I was
young
20.
20s?
I just had turned 21.
Okay, that's pretty young.
Yeah, young.
And then you had kiddos like 2 after that?
Right after, yeah.
So then when you were, in that phase, was there a time when you came to realize, okay, things have, I'm not being the best me I can be, kind of a thing?
Yeah, so just a little backstory. My life was kind of shattered my high school senior year. A lot of things changed in my life and my family, and I had to make a choice to go be with my younger siblings and help my grandmother raise them because we were abandoned by our mother, who was with a man who was abusive, and she chose him and over us. And so she handed over guardianship to my grandmother, which, bless her heart, she took us on. I was going into college, and my brothers were still very young. And so I had to make a choice, give up my dream of playing basketball and go take care of, be closer to my brothers and help them and help my grandmother with them, or go play basketball. And so, I had to choose, and that's my choice was to go that route and to be there for my family the best that I could. They had already faced enough with a father and mother who had abandoned them. And so that's what I chose, and it was rough. I was in a really hard place, in a tough spot, and
How old were you at that time?
I was 18. I just graduated.
And you guys moved in with your grandmother.
Yep.
Was she rough? Was she rough with you guys?
Oh, she's hard love, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's kind of old school. She's
Get the
80,
belt?
80,
Get the...
yeah. 82 years old, runs a ranch on her own steel. That's the kind of woman I'm describing. But
made you steel. Turned you into steel.
Absolutely.
That's where that came from.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, I would give her a lot of credit for that. So from there, I was able to go to, she helped me. So then I was moving out of state. So I was in Oklahoma, moved back to New Mexico. I was looking at college. What am I going to do? Well, now I'm going to have to pay out-of-state tuition. I'm going to try to walk on maybe to the basketball team, maybe not. I don't know what that looks like. She supported me and helped me do that. And so I only lived a couple months with her, but my brother stayed and finished high school with her, middle school and then high school. Actually, my baby brother was still in middle school. And so she raised them through that. And I was at New Mexico State in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And, when you're going into your first year of college, it's already that stage in life where you're like, let's go, let's have fun. Like, this is the life, And so with that, already being 18 on my own, finally free of a lot of pain in one way, and abuse in one way.
Well, you said you were the only girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had 2 other siblings?
3. I have 3.
3. Oh,
One
so
older brother
you
was
were
already
probably
out.
getting the run of all the boys, everything. So so you're probably like, I'm out of here. I'm good.
I think you carry a lot of responsibility sometimes when maybe you're just the female in the family, but also when you're the oldest sibling. And so I had lots to learn my first and second year of college, and learning that through emotional turmoil, lots of loss, lots of pain. Trying to navigate that was challenging. Met Omar, my husband, at Red Lobster. I was working through school. Through my undergraduate, graduate program, I worked at Red Lobster, and I met him. I had worked with him for a little while, and we really didn't have anything in common because I was the party girl. It's really funny to say this, but he was not on the same page I was. He was ready to move forward and move past that life, and I was not. And so we just didn't really hang out. And then we got married pretty quickly after that. And I still wasn't in the greatest place. I don't know why he married me, to be honest. I was wild. Was confused and lost and in pain and anger, lots of things. But he stuck it out with me and found something in me that he liked.
Nice.
And we got married and started having kids right away. And even at that point, I had my first son, Jonah, who is 18 and going off to college next month. I was very lost, I would say, still, and just drinking. Not that I would drink at night, every day. I would never say that I was an alcoholic in that way, but once it came to partying, social drink, I was a social drinker.
Yeah.
Who would lose control.
So you'd let it all out.
Yeah. And lose complete control of myself. And I think once God opened my eyes, and it actually really happened in one moment. Rock bottom for me was my second son. We were visiting my family. My family they're all drinkers. I grew up that way, and that was normal to me. Mm-hmm. I was sleeping with my son in the bed when we were visiting my family, and I was really hammered drunk, actually passed out probably on the bed. He was sleeping with me, and I don't know whether I knocked him off or he rolled off or whatever, and he hit the floor, and I was given an ultimatum. Either you change, this was by my husband, you change or we're gone, and I will take your children from you, and we're not living like this. So,
wow.
I started there. I went home, back to Las Cruces, went to church service, and God spoke to me so clearly and directly that day through a man that I had never seen and have never seen again. It was a pretty amazing experience, very touching, God's hand just truly on me. So from there forward, it was a work, Martin. It was a everyday work to fight those battles and those demons. But I was doing it because I loved my kids and my husband enough and more than I love myself.
Yeah. That's what you have to do, though, right?
Yeah.
You got to love the others more than you love yourself, because I know how that is. Being alcoholic, Scott knows how that is. You just love yourself and don't care about nobody else at all.
Yeah.
You go through those rough times like that. That's good, though, that you went through that, because now, look at you now. You still remember those times, and it helps you with the fuel.
Well, so 18 years ago is a long time. Was it immediately that you started, because I would know that you have basically a workout place in your basement, right?
I do.
When did that whole process begin, and how did that evolve to where it is now? I mean, it was around COVID that something happened, right?
Right. Yep. So I always have stayed active, always trying, even in college, even through the drinking. We'd wake up with a hangover or not or whatever. I'd go play intramural basketball. Anytime I was active, I still would go to the gym with my buddies, with my friends. I've always kind of stayed active, right? But I definitely had gained, more than the freshman 15. And then I had children, and then I gained a lot of weight. And so COVID hit, and I gained almost 9-10 pounds in 1 month of COVID hitting. And I sat down with my husband, and I said, this isn't us. This isn't the example that we're going to be for our children. I had already really almost faded out drinking. It took years for that to happen, but I mean, the last time I drank was over 6 years ago now. And so COVID hit. I lost somebody super, super close to me right before COVID hit. She took her life, and she was drunk, and so that was also another reason, and that was my aunt on my mom's side, and very, very close to me. And she took her life, and I believe the only reason that she was able to do that was because she was completely annihilated. She was so absolutely. And so that was also like another sign where I probably at that point was already having maybe one drink a week, maybe a month. Very little drinking at that point, but that just was like this is it. I won't, I'm done with this. And so then COVID came, and I told my husband that. We sat down, and I said, we're not doing this. We're not going to have these habits. We're not going to eat like this in front of our children, because what is this doing for our kids? It's nothing, setting them up for failure or for challenge, for difficulties,
And they were only like 11 and 13 or something.
Oh, young. They were, So, they were somewhere around there, right? So 2020, I guess, is when I really started making that change. And so we kind of did some of that together. I really was more into it than my husband at that point. I definitely was the one that took the lead on that. I said I need a gym in my basement, and so he helped me get that together. And we put a treadmill, a spin bike, and a bench press in there with some dumbbells. And I just got after it every day. So every day I would commit to, started slow because I was having a hard time. I started running at my son's baseball practices because I was sitting in the car anyways for 2.5 hours. And I said, okay, I'm going to start running. And so I would just, almost walk because it was so slow, but jog for, the full time of his baseball practice. And however far I could go in that time is what I would do. And then it led to running a half marathon and doing okay on that one and feeling really proud and good about myself.
So is that where you started, is running, as you always kind of stayed into running?
I never have been a runner, but I didn't know what to do with that time in the car for those 2 hours. And I just saw it as an opportunity to use to better myself.
Nice.
And I actually don't like running that much. I'm starting to like it more, but that has been quite a process, and that's compliments to Hyrox. But so then I would do that. I'd run at his practices, and then I would train at night I was set first 20 minutes. I can give myself 20 minutes in the gym, in the basement gym, lifting some dumbbells. I didn't even know what I was doing. And then I started changing my eating habits, and I started eating better, watching what I was eating, cut some of the sugar, but mainly it was like portion control right away. And I started seeing some change when I was running. I lost some weight, and I was like, hey, this is good stuff. But I don't really love how I look. So then I was like, I gotta do my homework. I gotta figure out how I can lose weight and like how I'm looking. And so that's when I really started digging in and learning about the body and lifting weights.
Is that kind of when you got into first form and started?
A little bit later, actually.
A little bit later?
Yeah, so I did that on my own for a little bit, and then I followed this woman on Instagram because she was, 20 years younger than me, and she looked amazing, and I said, I want that. I know she's older, but I want that, and I'm going to get that. And so I followed her. She's the one that was using First Form products.
Oh, nice.
And so she shared that with me, and then I got on board with the First Form and started learning about protein and the importance of it. I was eating so little protein. It was wild when I first realized I was eating maybe 50 grams of protein a day, and I'm running like crazy. I'm like running, 5 to 8 miles a day or every other day, and I'm training at least 30 minutes. It moved up to 60 minutes pretty quickly, and I'm eating 50 grams of protein. No wonder I'm not happy with the way I'm looking.
Yeah,
my body was depleted.
I told you what was going on with me, that I didn't, when you lack on that protein, it makes a huge, huge difference on your performance.
Absolutely. Your energy levels, everything. It impacts everything. I think, your sleep, and it just comes down to your nutrition. But that's pretty much how I got back into really these habits and how I live my life. First Form does a beautiful job of leading by example and showing you, like, you do these 5 things, you can make a big difference. And what that was doing, it was just, you can pick any 5 things you want, honestly, but if you do them consistently, it's going to change who you are. So make sure you're making the right choices when you're choosing the 5 things that you're wanting to do, But yeah, I haven't stopped from then. It's evolved from one thing to the next. I don't think that I have like hyperactivity, but I might when it comes to.
Well, that's the 75 hard program. That's what will get you. That's what got me, because you had to work out so much. So I'm always thinking, I gotta work out. So that's what, just after I stopped doing it, I was just, I'm bored. I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I gotta work out.
Yeah,
so
you're trying to get
that
your 2
just
workouts.
fried it into my mind that I always gotta work out. So, and that's why sometimes I still work out twice a day, and it's just, but Good stuff, though. I mean, that's what makes you change your life, and you know, other people see that light coming out of you, and hey, we can. She did it. We could do it too.
So I got like three things that have been invoked by what you said. When did your relationship with God have a change at some point that helped you, or that you kind of woke up and realized, okay, I could be someone in terms of that I want to be more than what I am?
I think that's been an evolution too, to be honest. I think I was raised in a small Baptist church. My grandfather was amazing at making sure we were there, we were active, we participated in church. So I think I've always had a really good foundation with faith and knowing Jesus. But the evolution of it as you grow and mature is what I think is the most beautiful thing if we see it. And I think there was years when he was pulling on me and I wasn't listening. But after that experience I had at that church, and I really gave myself to God, and I said, I need your help. I need change. I need better. Yeah. Surrendered to him, truly did. Which was, in that moment, I felt like I had completely surrendered, but there were so many things that still had to heal and grow and develop, and I had to really give to him. But that was the beginning, and so then I would say over the last years, especially when I was in my basement or running around the baseball field, and in those moments when I just said, what am I doing this for? Like, why am I doing this? This is terrible. This is torture. I don't want to do this anymore. I've gone, a month straight of working out every single day. I am tired of this.
Is that when you took a break and you gained some pounds? Is that what was?
Yeah,
because there was a time, right, that you kind of chilled out for a little bit and.
No, that was all before.
That was all before.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was all before. But what happened was I started depending on saying, God, I need you to help me get through this workout. Like, I can't do this if you're not here with me. So then I just got into his word more, and really less into his word as more as just praying and talking to him.
Meditation.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't as disciplined I wish I was more disciplined about reading the Bible. I do, and I try to do it daily, or at least some kind of scripture, whether it's from my Bible that sits next to my bed. But I am definitely trying to get some word from him in some platform. But it's prayer. For me, it's prayer. Speaking to him. We talk about this before, Scott and I, about him just being your buddy right here with us. And so that's where it has changed, is that evolution of my prayer life and my conversations with God, which has taken me, I feel like, to a whole nother level in so many areas.
Yeah.
As a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a speech language pathologist, as an athlete.
Well, even when you stopped drinking, you just really needed that relationship, right? I mean, that intimacy with God. When you were around family that was drinking, where you could just be
goodness,
like,
God. Whew.
God, just please be there for me so that I can not participate in that.
I would pray for a week straight, hard prayers. I mean, long, hard, daily prayers when it was time to get ready to go to Thanksgiving. Because I knew
your family was partying, everybody's partying, drinking.
And it was going to be, I would say, God, remove that temptation from me. I don't want to be tempted. I know it's going to be there, but help me overcome it. And that would, every time I would go home, I would have to pray those things, like, just remove that from me, heal me from that, teach me it's not important. And I would just beg him. Honestly, it was literally begging him, don't let me fall in that trap again.
Yeah.
And it's been years now that I've had to do that. It's a beautiful thing. I am really healed of that. I can't even tell you of a time where I've looked at a drink and craved it or thought, I wonder if that tastes good. I would love nothing, zero.
Yeah.
It was zero for me. It's incredible. But I give God credit for that.
To me, that's a testament to the reality of God, that at this table, not a one of us has had a drink like over the last 4 years.
5 years, 6
but,
years.
I needed the community of AA to be able to stop. I didn't have the mental fortitude to be like, God, help me, because whenever I tried that, it felt more like isolation, and I would just fail and then be like, well, God, we'll work it out at some point, and I never could until I hit my rock bottom. But you mentioned you were the first one to say the words rock bottom. And I know that we have a passion for wanting a normal layperson, a normal, person who thinks, well, look at her though. Like, there's no way I could be that person. How can a person evolve into somebody that they want to be? Can they get better without having gone through the rock bottom that all three of us have had? And I mean, how does one, because that's like the basic riddle of our book. How does one get better if they don't understand that, hey, things have to change? I mean, how do we inspire people, the common person who wants to make every excuse in the book not to change? Or is that person not who our audience is? Is there anything we can do to put a fire under people to get them to see that they actually could be a little bit less unhappy with their lives?
Yeah.
They could achieve healing. They could achieve freedom. All the words that we've said. They could achieve victory. They could achieve fulfillment and contentment and peace by simply reducing the things in their minds. Because one thing about Trista that I know, you're one of the most mentally tough people that I've ever met. Take away all the physical stuff and maybe even all the spiritual stuff. But I think all three of them are combined. But man, how does one acquire the mental toughness to do a Malo 75, to do a 75 hard, to do 500 hills in a year, or whatever dumb thing I've done? How does one acquire that kind of consistency? How do you change your habits to acquire habits of steel like you have?
Yeah, I think that's a deep question, because I think that everyone is going to respond a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. I think as far as our book goes and what we're trying to accomplish in that is show people that Scott, myself, Martin, we're just a common folk we're just common people. We experience all the same things that others are experiencing. We've had trauma in our life. We've had hardships. We've had pain. We may still be in pain.
Abuse,
injuries. Those things we face. That's what life is.
Grief. Yeah. That's what made me.
I'm pointing at you, but tomorrow is my wife's 7-year passing anniversary.
Yeah.
Grief.
Yeah.
Grief.
And what do we do with that when we're faced with those things in our life? I think I see it pretty black and white. Not everybody sees it that way, but you have, two choices. You can make something better of it, or you can choose to sit and sulk and really lose out on actually everything that you have to grow from, to gain from that. We experience these things in our life. This took a long time for me to recognize this and to realize this, because I was angry, but I believe that I experienced the abuse, the trauma, the betrayal, the abandonment, because it's in my plan to be there for someone else who's experiencing that, who's going to experience that. So I can help them get through that. And that's what I'm talking about when it's not about me, it's about you. And I truly want to live that way, and people to know that my heart is a heart of love for you, to give to you anything that I could possibly give to make your life a little bit better, to shine a little brighter, so for the next person.
Yeah.
To the other three, my heart is to life model. My heart is to love. What else is your heart?
So we have a life model that Scott and I kind of developed a while, and I shared this with Scott, and he was like, okay, this is good stuff. Let's talk about this more. And so the life model is we're just going to love, and we're going to inspire, because we went back on influence. We didn't like that. Inspire, and we're going to forgive.
That's a huge one that bears talking about.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
that people do not realize that your ability to forgive those who have hurt you, or your ability to forgive yourself, is also pivotal to the fact that life can be so much better. if you can do
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
So that was the third one.
And then
Love, inspire, forgive,
and encourage.
And encourage.
And so we try to live by that every single day. And if there's a lot of times when I actually just happened yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I'm a speech language pathologist. If you're not familiar with that or know that, I work with children, and I absolutely love my job. In working with children, you have to work with parents naturally, right? And so I'm in and out of homes, and there's just those hard days. And I was real frustrated when I walked out of a session yesterday. You're pouring everything into somebody, into this kid, and then one little, like you can have a 30-minute, I can go walk in and have the most beautiful 30-minute session with this child, and I can see them growing, I can see their happiness, I can see life in them, and then one little bitty word can be said that just tears me down and removes and takes away all that good that I just was a part of away. And I got in my car and I was just mad. Human, right? We're human. And I was kind of saying some words and things to myself, and I thought, the life model, how do I apply this? This is my philosophy of life right now. This is what I live by, is life. So I'm going to forgive that moment, because I don't believe that it was. Yeah. And actually, whether or not, because that's going to happen to you. You're going to be told some things. Things are going to happen that you might believe was it intentional, and it might have been intentional. I'm pretty naive and pretty forgiving. But, sometimes it is, and what do we do with it? And you can't change people. You can only change your response to it.
Yeah.
And so, I had to think about that, Scott, yesterday. I was like, oh boy, am I truly living the way that I want to? Am I being that example every day? And it's hard. I'm not going to tell you it's not easy.
Well, and anymore, it's funny you're talking about kids, because I think that all of us, it's like, oh, that's just, he or she's just a dumb kid making dumb decisions. And that's how you can even see most adults, is on that spectrum. But you're talking about what somebody can say, one thing that changes a lot of things. And one of my vendettas is that our culture teaches us to not put good stuff between our ears. To tell ourselves that we're no good, to have a self-loathing, to not be positive, to not have a perspective that starts out a day saying, man, today's going to be an awesome day. And our book goes into how important it is to speak life in situations, but also just to have a framework in your mind that things are actually on an upward tilt. Things are actually getting better, and just kind of trying to convince yourself of that when we are fallible, as we are as human beings, and we have a God who adores us, and I guess that's one of the things that our book talks about, is the fact that God loves us so much, and He's on our side. Because in America, we didn't necessarily grow up with a loving God. We grew up with a judgmental God, that we're looking at, oh, I suck because I'm failing in this way, or whatever the case may be. And just realizing that the God that created us is on our side is one of the things that's big about our book. But, the thing I was thinking about too is we have made a choice. The three of us lift each other up pretty continually. And if we didn't have that, it would be a lot harder. And that's a proactive decision people have to make, is surround yourself with a community, because you were the one that initially talked about the community aspect. You got to surround yourself with a community that helps you to realize it's okay, just get back up. It's okay, you're going to be okay. Just you're on this upward tilt. And I know that if I didn't have you guys and my other friends, like Date Trend, the people that lift us up continually, if I didn't have that, I can fall into an isolationist mode where I begin to hear the age-old genetic negatives in my situation, which is things aren't getting better. Things are, you suck, all of the things. And yet it's a real proactive habit that has to be created to surround yourself with an environment that continually lifts you up. If you
Yeah,
wanna speak on that.
we're always gonna see the bad before we see good. I think every single one of us. You like to share how mentally strong I am. I absolutely will be one to see the bad before the good. I try my hardest to not be that way. I believe that's how it is. And so we have to make that conscious decision to reverse that. And it's not hard. It's not easy to do. It's very hard to do that. But when I started getting on that hill, the Manitou Incline, the community is what I fell in love with. It changed me in so many ways. It made me realize and value people and community so much more than I ever did. I've always been in little pockets of community, but it's never felt like what the incline brings me. And what's amazing is I haven't been on the incline as often, but when I go back, and I still am on there weekly, but it's not every day for me. But every single time that I take one step, it's like, it's almost undescribable because there is this power in it, and it's the people. It's just the people. I know I'm going to run into you, Martin. I know I'm going to see Scott coming back down, trying to take a picture of me when I can't breathe. And I'm trying to get a good time up because I'm always, it is, for me, I tell everybody, it is business to the top and let's party down. I will socialize all the way down.
Well, us slow guys, we got to slow down the elites. We got to slow them down so we can ruin their time a little bit.
But I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
And there's also this respect. So this morning, for example, Scott's like, let me cut into your time for a minute. And he's trying to get his phone out as fast as he can to take a picture because he's also
Kathy was there too.
And Kathy was there, Kathy Barr, and so we're trying to respect each other. What's important to each one of us, and anyways, the community piece of it is what the most beautiful thing is. I saw Megan this morning, and seeing her on that hill because I know it's hard for her, and seeing her on there, I would tell you my time increased probably in those next 100 steps. I bet you I was faster by shortened my time by half, right, in those next 100 steps because seeing her there gave me this boost of energy. This
inspired
lift.
you.
It did. I was like, let's go. Let's do this. And then I wanted to do it because then I knew she'd see me going by and be like, I'm right there behind you.
Push,
I'm right there
push,
behind
push,
you, And that's how it is with all of us on there, with Fred and oh my goodness. We can just name so many people, right? There's just so many great people. But it's not about this hill that we're climbing. It's not about every one of those 2,768 steps. Am I got the number right? It's about what you're doing when you're there. Lots of us have our time in prayer there. Lots of us speak to whatever your meditation is, whatever form you have. Maybe it is your friendship. Taking selfies and sharing that with the world and trying to inspire and encourage. Sharing your story of how you've been healed. The stories that are on the hill are amazing, but the community is the heart of us.
Yeah.
I mean, life
thing.
we need people.
Well, talk about a place that's full of love, inspiration, and encouragement. And then out of that comes a heart of forgiveness, too, when I think about the fourth component of that. But it's just a place that, we have a kind of an example of something that just makes us feel better, makes us want to love each other, lift each other up, encourage each other, inspire each other. And we want to try to convey that to people. And it's really the point of, I think, Mr. Malo's podcast is that you would have an environment where you would continually lift people up.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it, so I can reach more people and help them out of that dark place.
Amen.
And I think if we can get people to understand that it's not the incline.
Right.
That is a community. That is a place. You can have that anywhere. Mm-hmm. The Hyrox community. I have taken what I have learned from the Manitou Incline community, and I've added what I have into the Hyrox community, and it's
beautiful.
Building and it's growing.
That's nice.
And there was already a lot of beautiful community there that was already there that I'm getting to be a part of and I'm learning from. But what I want to tell you, if you can't get to the Manitou Incline, you can create your own community.
Yeah, that's exactly
the
what I'm
important
talking about.
Yeah.
That's like how I started, doing the rucking. There's
Yeah.
a whole community of people that just ruck. That's all they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started.
You represented America in Switzerland.
Oh, yeah,
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah.
Sweden.
And so then, getting to meet, I'm actually going to run with some ladies from Canada in Salt Lake in September.
Really?
So I couldn't tell them no, even though it really was probably really poor timing. But I felt like there was some reason that those women came into my life from another country. And I felt like I was being pushed towards that. And so I was going to make a sacrifice of something else that I really wanted to do. But to do that because there's a purpose there. Those are people that I'm lucky and blessed to even know now. And now we're making this connection, and I don't know where God's going to move it from here. But I went to Sweden. I met people in Sweden from all over the world, got to participate in that. And you have all these people who are needing people, even just because you go to a place, just because I go where there's elite athletes, these elite athletes are probably hurting in some way or another.
Lonely.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Are they missing anything? They might have it all. They might have their community. God willing, they do. But there's got to be reason. There's got to be purpose bigger than I can see, bigger than us in these communities, and we just have to. We got to jump in. We can't be afraid to jump into these things,
Take that first step. Everybody's afraid to take the first step.
Always.
Just show up. Just show up and just take the first step and just take it from there. Just keep your head down. But we need to get more people to take that first step. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And whoever we are at whatever level, if we woke up breathing, chances are there's still some ways that we got to grow and heal
you're right about
and
that.
get better, and it's just, I love what you said about just anyone creating their own community, but that's a proactive habit that you got
reaching out to people.
You got to get better at and overcoming fear and
rejection.
You
got to overcome fear and rejection because you're going to face both of those.
A lot of that, a lot of negative. There's going to be a lot of negative, but
one of the things our book's about that's important is that even something like a food addiction or a laziness addiction is in fact a spiritual malady. And so addressing what's underneath everything, addressing how did I get how I live between my ears, mental toughness, spiritual, physical. That's what we're all about, just trying to combine those into a person that is forgiving and loving and serving, which we haven't really talked about.
We have so much to talk about and share about this book and really
so that's cool.
what our purpose is.
We only got this hour, and you probably got to go. We're all of us are taken out of our time, out of our lives today, to be able to be here together to just say this is important stuff, and we want to see people. We want to serve people in this way. We want to see them get better.
Absolutely getting
That's what we're
better.
Here for.
Everybody's got to get better. We got to be there for.
We're
everybody
here
that's in that dark place that wants to go get a bottle and all that kind of stuff. We got to be there for them. Like, hey, you don't have to.
We're here as a spark plug for somebody else's community.
Meet us at the hill. Meet us at the Manitou Incline. You let us know, and we'll meet you there. That's that's the kind of thing.
Yeah, and the thing about serving, I think, just my last little take on today, when you start serving, there is a reward in serving that you couldn't have ever imagined, that you don't think about.
Yeah.
So you're going to be so filled by serving other people, and that service, it doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be give people something tangible. It's give them a smile, give them love, give them a hi.
Hi, good morning.
That encouragement piece. Just a good morning sometimes is a change in someone's life. And it's cliche, guys, but it's the truth. Think about when you've been in a spot where somebody said one kind word to you and it changed your complete outlook on that day. That is what we're surrounded by every single day. And so I just think you don't actually, if you're feeling like you need something in return, it will come.
Yeah.
And it'll be
that
greater
is
and better
guaranteed.
and more powerful than you ever imagined. So get out there and serve. Serve people, love people.
Yeah,
Take that first step.
Life changing.
I know that my return is just getting that much closer to the heart of God, which you see as such a beautiful thing, and then you realize, wow, this is enough. This is the best. This is the good part. And with that, I'll shut up.
Yeah.
So now we'll meet at the Manitou Incline. Or create
Yeah.
your community so that we can meet you there. I love traveling, so we started seeing these communities
So
pop
how
up.
can people reach you, Trista? What's your Instagram?
So it's Trista Montoya, simple, just at Trista Montoya is my Instagram. I'd love to hear from you, share anything, everything, encourage you, lift you up, join you for an incline hike. I'm kind of
She's got a
traveling all fall.
book. She's got a book coming out. What's the book going to be called?
What, are we on it, Scott?
Habits of Steel, Climbing Through Life.
There we go. That is amazing.
And it is
Climbing
climb.
through life, climbing with Model 75.
Amen.
Isn't that what it's all about?
That's
We
what
got
it's about.
the community.
Well, that's the thing. Is
serving.
life is a pretty vicious climb, but
Yeah.
head
You
down.
got to get
next
through it
step.
though. You have to.
Yeah.
You got to get through it. No matter what your mountain is, you got to get to the top
Yeah.
and figure it out for yourself, because we don't want to be at the bottom, stuck at the bottom.
Oh, and you
We
can
want-
choose. You can choose to be at the bottom, or you can choose to live
Yeah.
freely.
Live at the summit.
Amen.
Let's
Amen.
go,
Well,
let's go.
this is the show.
All
Trista
right, fist bump in
Montoya,
there.
Scott, Martin, climbing with Model 75.
Let's
Check it
go.
out. Beautiful.